I adjusted my Target blazer in the hallway mirror, ignoring Mom's disapproving glance. Another Sunday dinner, another round of helpful career advice from my MBA-wielding family. At least make an effort, Claire, Mom sighed, eyeing my off-the-rack outfit. Your sister Melissa is bringing her new VP of marketing boyfriend. Of course she was. Melissa collected corporate titles like some people collected shoes. Meanwhile, I was the family's simple daughter, the one they spoke about in gentle, concerned tones. Still working at that little boutique? Dad would ask every week, as if managing Elite Luxe's flagship store was a temporary job until I found my true calling as, well, anything else. What they didn't know was that in exactly 3 minutes, their favorite luxury brand was about to announce its mysterious new owner. The same owner who'd spent 2 years secretly buying shares while working as a simple store manager. Claire, you're late. Melissa called from the dining room. Come meet Brandon. He just closed a huge marketing deal for Dash. The TV in the living room interrupted her. Breaking news in the business world. Elite Luxe, the luxury retail giant, is about to reveal its new majority shareholder after a 2-year stealth acquisition. Oh, turn it up. Dad leaned forward. Elite's been our family's brand for generations. I hope whoever bought it doesn't ruin it like these modern entrepreneurs. I checked my watch. 3:1. In a shocking announcement, the new owner and CEO of Elite Luxe is Claire Morrison, previously the manager of the company's flagship store. Dad's fork clattered onto his plate. Mom's wine glass froze halfway to her lips. Melissa's new boyfriend choked on his appetizer. My photo filled the screen, not in my Target blazer, but in the custom suit I'd had waiting for this moment. The caption read, Claire Morrison, from store manager to CEO, the ultimate inside strategy. This is a mistake, Dad stammered, staring at the TV. Claire's not, she can't. Can't what, Dad? I pulled out my phone, showing them the stock transfer confirmation. Can't understand business? Can't run a company? Can't turn 2 years of careful planning into majority ownership of a billion-dollar brand. Mom found her voice first. But you're a store manager. I was a store manager. One who spent 2 years learning every aspect of the business while quietly buying shares through a holding company. I smiled. Amazing what you can accomplish when everyone underestimates you. The shares. Dad's business mind was finally catching up. The market dip last year, when Elite stock dropped after that false earnings report, was orchestrated by my team. We needed the price low enough to acquire controlling interest. I took a sip of water. Basic business strategy, right, Dad? Like you taught Melissa? Melissa's boyfriend, the VP of marketing, was frantically checking his phone. This is impossible. You'd need inside knowledge, market expertise, millions in capital dash. All of which I had. I turned to Melissa. Remember that silly little blog I started about luxury retail trends? It has 3 million subscribers. Those simple conversations I had with customers? Market research. That wasteful inheritance from grandma? Seed money. But you never went to business school. Melissa protested. No, I went to work instead. Learned the business from the ground up while you all collected degrees and titles. I stood up, smoothing my Target blazer. By the way, Brandon, that huge marketing deal you just closed? I'm canceling it tomorrow. Elite doesn't need overpriced influencer campaigns. We need authentic customer connections. Dad was still staring at the TV, where financial analysts were now praising the brilliance of the stealth acquisition. All those Sunday dinners, all that career advice, were exactly what I needed, I finished. You all underestimated me so completely no one thought to track my moves in the market. The simple daughter couldn't possibly be the mystery buyer everyone was trying to identify. My phone buzzed. The Elite board was gathering for an emergency meeting. Time to show them exactly what the simple store manager had planned for their future. I have to go. Unlike some CEOs, I believe in actually knowing my business. I headed for the door, then turned back. Oh, and Mom? This Target blazer? It's part of our new diffusion line launching next quarter. Because luxury isn't about price tags, it's about understanding value. The last thing I heard as I left was Melissa whispering to her boyfriend, "Did my little sister just become our boss?" Yes, Melissa. Yes, I did. The Elite Luxe boardroom fell silent as I walked in, still wearing my Target blazer. 12 men in bespoke suits stared at me like I was an alien who'd crashed their country club. Gentlemen, I took my seat at the head of the table. I believe you've all met me before. Though last time I was serving you coffee during the quarterly store visits. Charles Winchester III, our longest-serving board member, cleared his throat. Ms. Morrison, surely this is some sort of misunderstanding. The only misunderstanding, I pulled out my laptop, is your belief that selling $5,000 handbags to the same aging clientele is a sustainable business model. Our traditional customers are dying out, I interrupted, pulling up our customer demographics. Meanwhile, our potential growth markets are buying from brands that actually understand modern luxury. My phone buzzed, another text from Melissa. Mom's crying in the kitchen. Dad's calling his broker to verify your ownership. Please tell me this is a joke. I ignored it, focusing on the stunned faces around me. Let me guess. You all thought the mystery buyer was another private equity firm? Some old money family looking to add to their portfolio. You're a shop girl, Charles sputtered. I'm a CEO who actually knows our products, our customers, and our market. I opened a presentation titled, Elite 2.0. While you were all flying private to board meetings, I was on the shop floor learning why we're losing market share to digitally native brands. Our Q3 profits are inflated by real estate holdings, not retail success. I clicked through slides showing the real numbers, the ones they'd been hiding behind creative accounting. Did you think I wouldn't notice the shell companies holding our failing stores? Or the inventory manipulation to inflate margins? Another board member found his voice. These are complex business practices that I learned about while serving you coffee? I smiled. Amazing what people say when they think the shop girl is too simple to understand. My phone buzzed again. Dad this time, just spoke to my broker. How did you raise that kind of capital? I switched to the next slide. Meet my silent partners, 3 of the biggest tech entrepreneurs under 40. Turns out they loved my blog's analysis of where luxury retail was headed. Especially the posts about how traditional brands were failing to adapt. Charles stood up, face red. This is outrageous. We'll challenge this takeover With what evidence? Every share purchase was legal. Every disclosure filed properly. I pulled out one final document. And as of this morning, I have proxy support from our institutional investors. They're quite excited about our modernization plan. Modernization? Several voices asked simultaneously. Digital-first strategy. Sustainable production. Direct-to-consumer channels with selective retail presence. I gestured to my blazer. And yes, a diffusion line that makes luxury accessible without diluting our core brand. That's not how luxury works. Charles protested. No, that's not how luxury worked. I stood up. Meeting adjourned. Except for we need to discuss your severance packages. As the board filed out, my assistant Jane, formerly my coworker at the flagship store, brought in a garment bag. Your sister Melissa is in the lobby, she said. And your mother's Mercedes just pulled up. Perfect timing. I unzipped the bag, revealing a custom-made suit in Elite signature style. Time to show them what real power looks like. Claire. Melissa burst in, her designer heels clicking frantically. Mom's having a meltdown. Dad's calling his lawyer. What have you done? I changed into the suit, feeling the perfect fit of something made by artisans I knew personally, because I'd worked with them on the shop floor. What have I done? I turned to face her. I've saved our family's favorite brand. The one you all thought I was too simple to understand. Mom appeared in the doorway, mascara slightly smeared. Darling, please. You can't run a luxury empire. You don't have the experience. Actually, Mrs. Morrison, Jane interrupted, handing me the latest sales reports. Your daughter just increased our online sales by 200% with a single Instagram post about the takeover. Turns out customers love the idea of a CEO who actually worked in the stores. I checked the numbers. They were even better than projected. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a press conference to attend. Time to explain how a simple store manager turned Elite into the future of luxury. But what will we tell people? Mom whispered. I straightened my new suit, the first piece from my upcoming Power Redefined collection. Tell them the truth. Your daughter was smart enough to let everyone think she was simple. Sometimes the best power move is letting people underestimate you, right until the moment you take over their boardroom. 3 months after the takeover, I sat in my office reviewing the latest numbers. Elite stock had doubled. Our new digital strategy was attracting millennials with money to spend. And my simple store management experience had cut operational waste by 40%. Ms. Morrison? Jane appeared at my door. Your father's here. With Charles Winchester III. I checked the security feed. Dad stood awkwardly in his Brooks Brothers suit, the one he wore for serious business, while Charles clutched a leather portfolio like a shield. Send them up. And Jane? Pull up the Q4 projections. Let's show them what simple looks like in numbers. They entered as I was signing off on our latest initiative, a sustainable luxury line developed by artisans I'd discovered while managing the store. Claire, Dad started then stopped taking in my office. The wall of screens showed real-time sales data from our global locations. Digital mood boards displayed upcoming collections. A bank of monitors tracked social media sentiment. Quite different from the store manager's office, isn't it? I smiled. Though I kept the coffee machine. Good leaders remember where they started. Charles cleared his throat. Ms. Morrison, we've come with a proposal dash. Let me guess. The old guard wants their power back. I turned one screen toward them, showing Elite stock chart. Hard to argue with these results. Actually, Dad sat down, looking uncomfortable. We want to invest. The Winchester Morrison Fund has capital and your growth numbers are impressive. I finished. Amazing what happens when you let someone who actually understands modern consumers run things. My phone buzzed. Melissa. OMG, did you see? Brandon just got fired from his VP job. Something about his influencer campaign being a fraud. I smiled. The campaign I'd cancelled on my first day had turned out to be exactly the kind of shallow marketing that was killing luxury brands. Your new strategy, Charles admitted reluctantly, the direct-to-consumer approach, the sustainability focus. It's revolutionary. No, it's obvious. If you'd ever actually talked to customers instead of spreadsheets. I pulled up more data. See these engagement numbers? That's what happens when your CEO can recommend products because she's actually sold them. Dad was staring at the sustainability report. These profit margins, with ethical production? Turns out treating artisans well and charging fair prices creates better products. I pointed to a photo of our Italian leather workshop. Those craftsmen, I know their names, their families, because I visited them as a simple store manager while you were all flying private to yacht parties. Charles shifted nervously. About the board's treatment of you. You mean calling me shop girl and explaining basic business terms like I was a child? I pressed a button and the screens filled with press coverage. Vogue. Elite's revolutionary CEO from shop floor to corner office. Forbes. The future of luxury is female and she knows her inventory. Claire. Dad leaned forward. I was wrong. About everything. The Sunday dinners, the career advice. The constant suggestions that I was too simple for real business. I stood up, straightening my elite blazer from our new Heritage Reimagined collection. Here's the thing, Dad. Every time you and Mom and Melissa talked down to me, I learned something. Learned what? That the business world is full of people so convinced of their own brilliance, they can't see the obvious. Like a store manager quietly buying company shares while revolutionizing inventory systems. My phone buzzed again, Mom this time. Darling, the country club is asking if you'll speak at their business leadership dinner. Your investment proposal. I turned back to Charles and Dad. It's a no. Elite doesn't need old money anymore. We're creating new value. But Charles started. But nothing. The same fund that thought I was too simple to understand luxury now wants to invest in my vision. I laughed. That would be poor business judgment. And I'm anything but a poor businesswoman. As they left, Jane brought in the latest sales report. The Target collaboration is breaking records. Turns out accessible luxury isn't an oxymoron. No, I smiled, touching the framed photo on my wall, me as a junior sales associate, learning the business from the ground up. It's just good business. Something a simple store manager would know. Sometimes the best revenge isn't proving people wrong, it's proving yourself right, one quarterly report at a time. 1 year after the takeover, I stood on the stage at the Global Luxury Summit, The same conference where last year I'd been working the Elite booth as a simple store manager. The future of luxury isn't about exclusivity, I told the packed auditorium. It's about authenticity, sustainability, and actually understanding your customers. In the front row, Melissa sat next to Mom, both wearing pieces from Elite's new collection. Dad was there too, taking notes about modern retail strategy. Last year, Elite's board dismissed digital innovation as beneath the luxury market, I continued. This year, our digital-first strategy has tripled our market cap and attracted a new generation of luxury consumers. My phone buzzed, a text from Jane. Charles Winchester just arrived at the office. Says he has to show you something urgent. Perfect timing. After the speech, I found Charles pacing in my office, clutching a financial report. His face had the same panicked look he'd worn when I took over the board. Have you seen these numbers? He demanded. Your simple strategies. They're destroying the entire traditional luxury market. You mean they're transforming it? I pulled up our latest data. 3 of our competitors have already copied our sustainability initiative. 2 more are rushing to launch digital platforms. And 6 have appointed CEOs with actual retail experience. But the old luxury houses are dying, Charles. Just like I told you while serving your coffee last year. Mom and Melissa appeared in the doorway, still looking slightly dazed from my keynote speech. Darling, Mom started, the editor of Vogue wants to feature you in their Power Players issue. She says you're revolutionizing luxury retail. Actually, I smiled, I'm just applying common sense. Something you get a lot of practice with on the shop floor. My phone buzzed again, this time with breaking news. Traditional luxury giant falters. Winchester Holdings reports massive losses. Charles slumped in his chair. My family's company, 3 generations of luxury retail, failed to adapt, I finished. But I'm feeling generous. I slid a proposal across the desk. Elite is looking to acquire heritage brands that understand the need for change. You want to buy Winchester Holdings?